What is this thing I found at a thrift store? Even the owner didn't know what it was. I believe it's aluminum and glass. It's really lightweight, and it doesn't have any markings. I don't have any more information on it. Any ideas? It's a 400-watt UV bulb from a Swordfish sunlamp, a tanning device from the 1960s. It was made by the Swordfish Faraday Incorporated of Hoboken, New Jersey. My sister had one of these when I was a kid. I tried using it on my back when I was a teen to dry out acne, and ended up needing to have sheets of skin peeled off of my back. I do not recommend using it for that. What are these plastic blue swordfish found amongst old silverware? There's a small text on the side reading Zupex 1965 USA. About 6 inches long, old, and probably used for something food related. Any ideas? They are 1960s swordfish drink stirrers made by Federal Glass. They serve these stirrers with most cocktails at St. Pete's Dancing Marlin in Deep Ellum, Dallas, Texas. What is this board with 2 glass jars and a cracker in the middle? We found it in my deceased grandparents' barn, and we have no idea what it's for. It says Wilch on the label. I've tried Google picture search, but nothing close comes up. Any help would satisfy our curiosity. Thank you. It's an incomplete Wimshurst influence machine, an electrostatic generator. A machine for generating high voltages developed between 1880 and 1883 by British inventor James Wimshurst. As far as I can gather, it's missing both rotating discs, the brushes, and the conducting wires, which seem to have been removed. Those are Leyden jars, an old-school capacitor, for storing charge on either side. The label almost certainly says Welch, which is one of the long-standing scientific supply companies. For 30-plus years as a physics professor, I have seen buttloads of old equipment. What is this spoon-like tool found in Oregon? My grandparents found this in their tool chest, and they can't remember where it came from. I'm unsure of what metal. The only clue we have is the word monk, either engraved or stamped into the flat side. Someone says a relative made it. The other says an olive or mayonnaise scooper. No welding seams and no hammer marks mean it was most likely cast. Any help would be greatly appreciated. It's a 1930s Monk Foundry slick, used to smooth the sand in sandcasting. It was manufactured by Charles Monk of Brooklyn, New York. Charles Monk was a major U.S. manufacturer of molders and plasterers' tools. Molding tools are usually identified as C-Monk or CM Monk. I have scanned a 1937 Charles Monk catalog. By the early 1950s, he had moved to Geneva, Illinois, and was still operating in 1958. What is this thing found on an old wooden screen door in my house? It's a small wooden bowl. It hangs on the inside upper corner and swings back and forth. The total length is approximately 4.5 inches long. Any ideas? It's actually rubber, it's just gotten hard. It's an antique Sargent no-slam screen door check. It's to prevent the door from slamming. If the door swings really fast, it will extend and let the door bounce. It was made by the Sargent & Company of New Haven, Connecticut, and patented on November 24, 1891. What is this thing my dad found while metal detecting in Hudson, Wisconsin? It measures 6 inches by 9.5 inches. It looks like the lid of an old concrete water meter box. Any ideas of what it is? It's a railway tie plate. They go between the rail and the tie on a railway track. They distribute the weight of the rail over a greater area of the tie. The diamond side down, and 4 spikes go into the holes and through the tie to hold down the rail. They are gradually disappearing as creosote-coated wood ties are falling out of favor for fabbed concrete ties, which apparently do not need them. What is this old 3-foot-long instrument with adjustment dials and sight glasses in Cragside? It's a display piece in Cragside, which was the house of a 19th century inventor and industrialist, filled with interesting instruments and inventions, and is now a museum. This piece is unlabeled, and the plate on the inside is the name of an optician. It appears to have a metal rod inside the main glass chamber, with various adjustment dials on the bottom and side. Any ideas? It's a late Victorian Negretti and Zambra stick barometer. There's a leather bag in the bottom, and it is filled with mercury. You use the screws to alter the pressure on the bag to set the mercury level in the main tube to an official pressure reading in order to calibrate it. I used to use one at work because some of our instruments produced data that needed to be corrected for pressure when they were carried out. The same design is still used by many national weather bureaus, and many more are on display in museums. What is this metal and spring device found in a home built in 1950 in the US? It has springs and hinges and a handle on the moving piece, about 15 to 20 pounds and maybe 12 by 5 inches around the perimeter. I have tried Google image search, which returned pictures of animal traps and bookbinding press. One of the household owners worked for a newspaper. Any idea what it is for? It's a salesman sample of a can't slam hydraulic gate closer. It was patented as door check on June 7, 1938, by Philip J. Harrah and Chester P. Harrah of Bloomfield, Indiana. It was made by the Bloomfield Manufacturing Company, which opened in 1895 and is one of the oldest companies in Indiana. This is a turnbuckle inside a wood frame. Its size is 8.5 by 6 inches, and it was found in the attic of a Victorian home in Youngstown, Ohio. I'm wondering what it is used for. Any ideas? It's a short rail for bedsteads, used to display or store head and footboards for beds. It would have been sold in pairs. It was patented on May 2, 1911 by Henry DeBoer of Syracuse, New York. I was working in Baghdad, Iraq 12 years ago as a communications technician. My company moved into a warehouse previously occupied by special forces, and this item was left behind. It is 9 inches long, aluminum, and well made. My only guess is that it might be some type of pneumatic projectile to run an HF dipole antenna. Any ideas? Please tell us down in the comments. Thanks for watching. Let's make life fun.